Welcome to Season 3 of Sailing Sitka. I'm Kenna, and this is Jay. We live aboard our 1976 Choi Lee sailboat named Sitka, in which we have sailed south from Canada in 2022 to the very last port of Mexico. This season, we are finally exiting Mexico and taking our boat further through the Panama Canal and into the beautiful Central American waters. So hit that subscribe button and follow along, as this season we are sailing as far and wide as possible.
You guys you make this happen, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Sailing Sitka, and I hope you enjoy.
2 years ago, Jay and I made the brave decision to quit our jobs, sell our cars, give up our slip in Victoria, BC, and sail off into the sunset. We often get asked a lot of questions like how and why, and the answer to those questions are quite simple. When you want something bad enough, and I mean diving headfirst into uncertainty sort of want, you end up just going for it, regardless of comfort, finances, and stability. There is no price on going after your passions when you think about it, and there sure isn't a price on the time that we have left to spend on this earth. So we saved what we could as the budget sailors we are, and we made it work. We still are making it work to this day. Sure, things can be harder and more challenging at times, but at the end of the day, we're out here making it happen, regardless. So I hope this message puts an oomph in your step and maybe even makes your heart beat a little quicker too, as you also think about your dreams and what you're willing to do with them. On that note, we've been actively making our dreams come true as we set sail further and further south, pushing our limits and learning more along the way. Last week, we sailed to Quepos, Costa Rica, and stern anchored for the first time in a long time, to make Sitka the happiest she could be in the swelly anchorages that this country provides on the Pacific coast. Now you're all caught up, and I hope you enjoy this week's creation as we actively work at pursuing our passions and making the most of it along the way.
All right, just woke up from our first night here in Quepos, and it wasn't too bad with the stern hook. I mean, it's still a little rolly, but it's not the end of the world. Right now, if you look at that catamaran, see how they're facing like this, sideways, and we would be, where they are, it's a lot smoother. They're in like that nook, tight in little nook spot, and also they got two hulls, so they don't roll as much. It's not a big deal for them, but if you can tell, the wind from the Windex coming straight like this, so we would typically be bowing there and our stern would be over there, and then the waves are coming like this, so we'd be rolling beam on, which would be literally the worst. No sleep to be had. But you can tell, like, see her anchors over there, our stern hook, and our stern is trying to go this way right now, but it can't because that line is going to our stern hook, is preventing us. But yeah, it's nice. We're gonna have some coffee, we're gonna do some internet things with Starlink right now for an hour or two, and then we're gonna hit that beach. So that beach is where you land your dinghy here. We want to go in town because there is a marine store at the marina in Quepos. I don't know what they have there, but we're gonna find out. We'll use the internet here to do a bit of research. One of the major advantages of having Starlink on the boat since last year is that even though we don't have it on all the time because it takes quite a bit of power, we typically only have it on when there's sun. But yesterday we charged our Blue Eddy charger inverter to 100% so we could use it this morning. That thing is nice because we can do research like this, and we can like do banking, and we can do like YouTube obviously for you guys. But without that, it was really complicated, and it would have been near impossible in sometimes. So it's been very useful. We're not the kind of boat that has it on all the time. We don't even have it mounted. It still just lives on the deck right there. So we just literally put it on deck when we're in an anchorage, and you know, that's it. It goes through a hatch. So Starlink's there just on deck, and then the cable goes into the V berth, and then we connect it to our to the Blue Eddy. Now let's go back inside. Okay, let's making some coffee with Nickelback.
Good morning. Of course.
And let's get, of course.
Of course.
And then, yeah.
Time to go adventuring to Quepos.
How beautiful is it?
It's so pretty here. The water's nice, and like this was the easiest dinghy landing we've had in Costa Rica and Nicaragua.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
so nice. I'm kind of like tempted to bring Sitka right there where that catamaran was. They just left this morning, but we have the stern hook and we had a good night.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think it's worth it, but it's like 2-second dinghy ride for us. But it is super nice. So right now we're gonna go in town, go see. We gotta go try to find a few things at the marine store here, see if they have them. But yeah, dinghy's tied to a tree, which is sweet. This water's so nice here.
Oh my gosh, this is just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Like, it's a little paradise, a pocket of paradise in here.
Yeah.
And it's sunny.
Yeah, it looks like, I looked at the Cape on, Cape is just what they call your lightning and rain and thunderstorm predictions for Predict Wind. And it seems like this little pocket is like, there's rain and lightning everywhere around except here, so it's kind of nice. It's like a little micro oasis, which we'll take, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's showers up here.
Holy crap. 5 minutes for $1. Sweet. I'm in awe right now. I finally feel like I'm getting like the full Costa Rican vibe here. Like, wow. Oh my gosh. The air is like thick and wet, and it smells so tropical. Wow, this is unreal. I can't believe we sailed here.
And then here there's an awesome spot to drop the garbage.
Wow, how handy.
Their garbage setup's pretty switched on here, which I like. But yeah, this is the clearest water we've had so far. Typically all the other anchorages we've been to typically have really clear water, but because of the crazy rain we've been getting from that hurricane on the East Coast, the water was like flooded with mud from the mountains, and the water was actually brown. Like you had no visibility whatsoever, so not very inviting, especially in areas where there's crocodiles. You kind of want to see the water before you get in. So we're definitely gonna be swimming here though.
We walked to the nearest populated spot so we could catch a ride into Capos to go to a chandlery. But on our lovely nature walk there, we were accompanied by some pretty mesmerizing wildlife, which made the experience all the more magical.
Oh my god, I wish I was a monkey.
Oh, what's up, George?
They look like they know what's going on, you know?
Oh, clearly. There's another one over there.
Oh my god, they're everywhere.
All right, guys, just got back from in town. We found some Sitka Flex 291, or 295, sorry, the shit we were looking for, and some black paint that can go on plastic. So we will be doing the little portholes fix over there, the two that leak. Nick just jumped in the water, that's what you heard. So Nick's swimming ashore right now, and we're gonna bring the rest. So the beach is like there. It's super pretty beach, cleanest water we've seen so far in Costa Rica, which is super nice. So we're gonna load up the dinghy here with a baby speaker and some beverages, and then we will head over to the beach. So that was super nice. It was super easy, like little 7-minute hike, and then we walked for like 30 minutes probably up in the jungle, and that was super enjoyable. Saw some monkeys, we'll show you guys that. It got super hot, and then we ended up taking an Uber, which was super affordable, to go to the marine store, which sadly didn't have all we were looking for. They just had that sealant. We were looking for a foot switch, as you guys know, for windlass, as well as a water foot pump, because ours, as you know, is leaking. So we're putting like paper towel underneath it to absorb it. And like, look at this, like this is like all the water that's leaking from there, so not good. And we just put, I think Anna put that one in this morning.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah, so not great, but yeah, what can you do, right? Like, that's the only marine store here and they don't have it. So we're gonna have to wait till Panama. So it is what it is. In Panama too, like, I feel like I'm not gonna risk it for the biscuit. We have friends coming to visit, so I might use them as mules. I might ship stuff to their house and then they can fly with it. It's not big, it's just the size of a Kleenex box in total. So that shouldn't be too bad for them, hopefully, and they can help us out that way. And yeah, we're about to go enjoy the beach. It's gonna be super, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having a beach day. We haven't had a beach day really since we sailed off this season, so looking forward to it.
The sense of complete happiness that came over us to finally be having a beach day once again was memorable, to say the least. This is one of our favorite things to do when we cruise. Find a good beach spot, crack open some cold ones, and listen to some good music under the sun. It really doesn't get much better than that.
Look at this setup.
That's so awesome.
Jess and Mitch have this little tent set up for a nephew Mason, and it's literally like for their baby, and we're like, we saw it and we're like, we're getting this for us. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It deploys in like 2 seconds. Hopefully we have an easier time putting it away, but it should be good. Should be good. This is awesome. Like, it's a game changer, because the reason I don't like being at beaches is I get cooked, so this is like perfect. So it's a good setup.
Hell
so
yeah.
we're enjoying it. Very nice. All right guys, well, today's the day. We're gonna attempt to fix our leak on the forward 2 portholes that open. So we haven't opened them in like years. We never open them because they've always leaked. We've tried to change the gasket material, it still leaks. They're just a pain in the ass. So because we don't open them, we're just gonna put permanent acrylic over them, so that way hopefully they don't leak. These, if you recognize the shape, are perfect replacements for our side ones here. The first ones on the side, Kenna will show you right now. But those don't have issues anyways. Like, they're crazed, but they're Lexan, so they'll last. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna go over here on the side. Right now the boat's a mess because we got stuff everywhere. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this over that.
Want to shut the door?
Alright, so now we got 2 windows cut and kind of beginning of sanding. They're not perfect, like, I'm not gonna lie, these are not perfect, but for having done this at anchor, it's not too bad. And now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna position them on the outside, and we'll have the porthole open, and then Kenna's gonna trace with the Sharpie inside when I tell her go. So basically that's gonna Sharpie the inside of where we need to see through, and then we're gonna tape that area of the middle, and then we're gonna sand the remaining area on both sides and then paint it with black paint. We'll do that to both and then give a couple coats. Here it dries in like 5-10 minutes. We bought paint yesterday for that purpose. And then once that's done, in like 2 hours probably, or an hour and a half from now, then we'll also sand the surface around where we're gonna bed it, and then we're gonna put them on. So hopefully that all works out good.
Yep.
All right, well, it's nice when you have the right products to do something. This sealant is like the bomb. So just put it on. I'm gonna take the tape off right away because I don't want it to like break the seal once you have it off there. Look at this. You got a window that is see-through, and it's double pane. It's so when it's cold we won't get condensation, hopefully. I mean, that's a big R value probably here with that air gap. But like we said, we never opened these. Like I opened these when I first got the boat, changed the gaskets, they always leaked. Like everything I did, I ended up putting sealant there, and that worked for a long time. But with the rain we got in Nicaragua and Costa Rica, it was just leaking, and then we would fill towels here. It would leak along this edge, leak down there. This one would leak. The starboard side would leak, but not as much as this one on the port side. But now, hopefully, that solves our problem. And now we have like, this is fine. Like we literally, like I said, we do not open them. And in the future, right now, these side top decks don't look that pretty. Like we're not trying to do like final jobs here. Like we're in places where we can't do like the best jobs possible. We're making sure right now our goal is to basically keep the water out of Sitka, keep the rig up, keep her sail-worthy, seaworthy. But the things like the prettiness of the boat is like things that kind of go to the wayside while we're cruising, because we're doing things from anchor with limited supplies. When we do a big refit period, like I'm talking a big one, we're probably gonna take all these ports out and re-glass the entire side. A lot of deck work, a lot of sanding on deck, remove the tow rail. There's gonna be a lot of work happening in the future on Sitka, so we don't wanna like get ahead of ourselves and do things that we're gonna have to do twice anyway. So right now the goal is really just making sure she's waterproof, watertight, and that was our biggest leak on the boat. Well, the biggest leak we had originally was the chimney, which we think we fixed, but we taped it with garbage bag. It's got blue tape and a yellow garbage bag outside, and guess what? We don't care because it don't leak. And that sometimes is all you can ask for when you're cruising. For us anyways, like if you have the money to go in marinas and go to boat yards and fix it the right way, absolutely. But for us right now, this works perfect. So with these two now fixed, this leak fixed, I'm touching wood right now, Kenna should too, but hopefully that solves 90% of our leaks. The only other leak we have is in our cabin, and it is only when it is beyond torrential rain. Like the only rain that caused it to leak was 3 days of rain that shut the airport down in Costa Rica. That's how much it rained. Like we were filling a 5-gallon bucket in like 20 minutes. It was insanity. I've never seen rain like that. So so I don't think it's gonna be an issue, but if it becomes an issue again, we're gonna have to remove this area here. Basically, where the leak was would come under this hard top, which we've all done with like insulation, and then it would dribble here, like, so Kenna would have to stuff paper towel in here. It hasn't leaked since. The only thing it could be on deck is our jib track, which we installed and resealed, so I doubt it's that, but it could be because it starts right here, or more likely the stanchion, because that stanchion is like part of the gates. So it's the stanchion that's where you get in on the boat. So that's a stanchion that a lot of people hold on to when they're coming on. And stanchions, if for those of you who don't know, are these metal poles outside. So these poles here. So what could be leaking is this jib track here, but most likely this stanchion here, one of these 3 fittings here, because this is the gate, so this opens up. So a lot of people, when they walk on the boat, they hold on to this, and because it's only bolted at the bottom, there's a lot of leverage from the top. So not ideal. You almost saw me go in the drink here. We just heard roaring thunder, and yeah, it's looking pretty ominous right now. It's like sunset over there, and thunder seems pretty close, to be honest. Like, that was loud. I thought like we just started a movie, and I thought it was like the movie beginning. Anyways, let's hope for no lightning, please and thank you. And also, we'll put our buckets out here. So basically, we collect rainwater in these buckets because it rains quite a bit here, and then we use it for showering. It's a lot easier than having to go ashore and fill water for showers. So it's been working out pretty. Good thing, our 2 new installed hatches. Granted, there's still plastic over them, but nothing's leaking up there, so that's good. And I think that will have solved our leak. But the leak that we had in our room is like insane right now, and I think we figured it out. It's like, we thought it was coming from down there, and it was the track or the stanchion like I showed you before. But now that we've seen it, and normally when we have the leak, we're at anchor and we're pointing into the wind, and the wind's pushing water this way. But because we're stern anchored right now, the wind's actually coming from this direction, which never happens when it's raining when we're at anchor, because we're always facing into it. And right now, water's coming right under here, but not from the window. Like, there's nothing leaking. This window's all good sealed, and there's no moisture anywhere. So I think it's like right under here. Oh yeah, I think it's right here. So this is where we have our mount for our starboard main sheet, because we have a split main sheet set up on Sitka, and that's where it attaches on the starboard side. And there's a lot of pressure on that, and like when you're luffing, it hits, it like pulls and jerks on it. So the sealant might have failed there. All right, guys, I don't know why I'm talking to you like a vampire. There's lights in here. But we just, like, literally 2 seconds ago, I showed you the main cabin. Well, now for sure it's the main sheet attachment, because the main sheet attachment on the port side, we put the cockpit cushions inside for them to not get soaked. And there's a big, Kenna is like, so she's like going around like a little hooligan, which is good, because she was like, oh, this is leaking too. And this one, you can tell right away it's from here. So although it's kind of shitty that we're having these leaks, these are not concerning to me because they're super easy to deal with. And I made those, so I know how they're done. Like, the holes are over drilled and then filled with epoxy, so there's no damage to anything. It just leaks right through if the seal fails, which is what has happened, which is not also entirely surprising, because these have been there for 4 years. They've sat 2 years in the desert, and with the amount of pressure and torsion that are on those, because it's the main sheet attachment, especially when we're luffing, not too worried about that. So 4 bolts, we'll just take them out when we get to the next port in Golfito and clean them up, and then we'll put some new butyl tape, and we should be good for another few years. So all in all, not too bad. But for the first time in years, there's no towels under these hatches, and as far as I can tell, it's bone dry in there, so that's good. No water's getting in there, and there's, like I said, there's still plastic, so I wouldn't expect water to get in there, but still, that's nice. No leaks in here. Very nice. So 2 leaks down, 2 to go. Hi guys! Well, hello! Cut. Let's start now. Hi guys, just got back from some craziness. We went really high up in the air and really fast, so the opposite of sailing, which is at sea level and very slow. So yeah, that ziplining was super fun. Nice change of pace here. Just got back about 45 minutes ago. Nick's in town right now. We just came back to the boat and added 2 diesel jerry cans to our fuel tank, because tomorrow morning we are heading out and we are sailing all the way south to the southernmost port of Costa Rica, which is Golfito, and that will also be our checkout port for Costa Rica. So our next country after that will be Panama. So exciting stuff. So stay tuned, because we're sailing south. And yeah, on our way back to this little beach where we have the dinghy, we saw like
an insane amount of monkeys. Like, I filmed some with my phone because that's all we had, but like, yeah, we'll put it in somewhere here. I like it. All right. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Sailing Sitka. Stick around for more to come. If you enjoyed, please spread the love and let us know. Special thank you to our Patreon members for making these videos possible, as well as helping our dreams come true. See you all next week.